Jeremy Dewitte is currently housed at Jackson Work Camp, one of the Florida Department of Corrections minimum security work camps. Unlike many higher security prisons, inmates there typically live in open dormitories, hold prison jobs, and spend much of their day working either inside the institution or on supervised outside work crews. The camp has a reputation for being one of the less restrictive placements in the Florida prison system, though inmates are still subject to strict rules, counts, and disciplinary procedures. As of now, there have been no widely reported recent incidents involving Jeremy Dewitte himself at Jackson Work Camp, and no major public reports of violence or disturbances at the facility in recent months.
Explain to everybody, because that Jeremy dude is in a facility called Jackson Work Camp. Explain to us what his everyday life would be in a work camp.
Oh, so you mean like just from morning to night, just like every day, morning to night? So he's going to be assigned a job first and foremost. Anybody in Florida Department of Corrections, if you're walking on the pound, you have a job. And the reason I say that, if you're walking on the pound, because if you're not walking on the pound, if you don't do your job, they're taking your ass to confinement. So that being said, I think he has a detainer for the feds, and he has like almost like what, a 10-year bid or something like that. What does he have? 8-9 years? I don't know how much Mr. Jeremy Dewitte has, but he won't go out the side the gate.
Like 7 or some shit like that.
Okay, so he will not go outside the gate. Let's start here. He's at a work camp. He's at a cupcake camp. He's actually at just as sweet as a camp as Mackenzie Shriller. He's at a cupcake camp. But the thing is we lost Plug, but I'm pretty sure he'll join back up. Probably then lost his audio. He's gonna have one of 3 jobs: houseman, kitchen, or inside ground landscaping, or otherwise known as IGL. And out of those 3 jobs, he'll never go outside the gate. There'll be people in his dorm who go outside the gate. But he'll never go outside the gate. His life is pretty sweet. He wakes up at 4 or 5 in the morning. He goes to chow, comes back to the dorm, sleeps until they call his job time. He'll work till probably, like, I would say 10 or 11 o'clock. Then they'll go back to the dorm, do count. Then he'll come back. They'll do chow for lunch. And then he'll go back to work probably for another 2, and then come back to the dorm. And that's it, bro. There's cigarettes floating around. There's good bud floating around. There's goddamn K2. There's everything you could think of. I'm gonna tell you, when I was at a work camp, dog, there was phones, there was dope, there was every motherfucking thing in there. And every day, I shit you not, every day, because I had more time than most people at the work camp. And I was only there for like 3 months, but I had more time than most people at the work camp. But every day was a plan to how to get a new phone inside, bro. That's how sweet the work camp was. You were sitting there every day plotting a route, bro, to get a new phone in there, bro. The work camp was sweet, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you.
And for everybody listening, this is Pino, Brandon Smart. He was actually locked up for 10 years in the Department of Corrections of Florida. And there's something that's very interesting that you need to tell these people is his behavior. Like if he had DRs from his previous prison he was in, or his previous bid, it's a privilege to be at this work camp, correct?
So it's all on your custody. So I wouldn't say it's a privilege. I just would say that he hasn't had any DRs in a long time. So if you go like a year or 2 without no DRs, no write-ups, nothing like that, and you're medium custody, your custody is going to drop to minimum. Also, if you're 2 years DR free and your custody doesn't drop, but you have under 10 years, your likelihood of going to a work camp increases. So you do have medium custodies. Jeremy is medium custody at the work camp. That means Jeremy will never go outside the gate at the work camp. He'll never have any other job besides the kitchen, houseman, and inside grounds. He's going to be the one pretty much maintaining the infrastructure of the work camp. He could have a job in laundry. But other than that, it's privileged. It's privileged, but at the end of the day, it's just like he got himself there by not getting in trouble. You get what I'm saying?
Let me ask you this. We hear this term a lot, paying rent, when it comes to Florida prison. Is a work camp like Jackson Work Camp somewhere where you would have to be paying rent?
Absolutely not. No. No, I actually was sitting with my pop's birthday was yesterday, right? And we were sitting at the table and we were talking about prisons. And I was like, I looked at him, I said, because he was talking about prison, and he was talking about people twacking and this, that, and the third. And I was like, I looked at him and I mean, I love pops, you know what I mean? But I looked at him and let him know the truth. I said, you ain't never been to no killer camp. And my pops hasn't. He's been to prison twice and he's never been to a killer camp. It's just what it is. He went to work camps and work release centers and, you know, Dade CI. He's never
Yeah.
been to a killer camp. And there's nothing to be proud of, but you know when you're at a killer camp, bro. There's a big difference. There's a big difference. So no, he does not have to worry about extortion or anything along those lines. Because as soon as shit go down at the work camp every now and then, motherfucker will get fired up or hit with a lock or something like that. But they ain't killing motherfuckers at the work camp. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's interesting to me because he was using Stephen Stearns' pen while he was at Osceola County Jail, right?
Yes.
Now, we already have a DR that shows this, right? That not from him himself, but another inmate used Stephen Stearns' pen as well. Now, is that something that they would had to have some kind of communication and
Yeah,
something?
they had to be in the same pod. Absolutely. They had to be in the same dorm together or talking to each other. You can't just get somebody else's pen and not in the county jail. So in Broward County Jail, bro, you got to put like 9 numbers into the phone in order to call out. And that's your PIN number. You got to put like 9 different fucking numbers, and it's voice verified. You could get past the voice verification and shit like that, but bro, they had to communicate. They had to communicate, and Stephen Stearns had to put his PIN number down on a piece of paper and gave it to Jeremy and told Jeremy he can use it. And why would Jeremy do that? Why would Jeremy want a different PIN number? Because he was probably talking something about related to his case or something he didn't want recorded on his line, but it was stupidity because Stephen Stearns is being watched and he doesn't know that though.
Well, he should. It's the biggest case in Florida at the time.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure at the time he didn't know Stephen Stearns' jail calls were coming out. He didn't know that all that shit was gonna come out.
Well, let me ask you this: why is we have Stephen Stearns and Jeremy Dewitte? Why we have these dudes breathing? What this is a double question. Jeremy has 2 things on his jacket. The first thing is the PDF stuff, right? That he did back, and then we have proof of that. There's paperwork. It's disgusting. He was 25. She was, I believe, 15. And then the second thing is
she was 15. I thought it was 14, but yeah. Go ahead.
I think that might be the other case. See, we might be getting mixed case, but it's around there. It's whatever it is, the minor. The second thing is Jeremy has this cop presence. Like, he's not an actual cop going in there, but he has done a lot of stuff, horrible stuff to civilians and try to boss people around. Does that give him another target on his back? Like, how is his life so sweet in these work camps?
Because everybody's going home in the work camp. So the work camp, so this is the main reason the work camps are sweet and everything is sweet and cupcake at a work camp is because you cannot have more than 10 years at a work camp, right? So you have to think about this, right? There are 15,000, I believe, 15,400 people in the state of Florida serving life. 15,400 people serving life in the state of Florida, and that's out of approximately 85,000 inmates. That means 1 in every 5 inmates you bump into has a life sentence. So at the work camp, things drastically change. Everybody has under 10 years. So you don't have to worry about gang banging, really heavy gang banging politics. You don't have to worry about everybody has a knife on them. There is no fights. You don't have to worry about stuff like that at the work camp.
Now, that was Pino breaking down this Jackson work camp situation. This is the YouTube Street Podcast. This is important when it comes to this case. And let me explain why real quick, Blue, and we'll get into the intro. There's YouTubers going around saying that Jeremy is in fear for his life. That is not true. How could you be in fear for your life when you're at a work camp? So we're coming with the facts tonight, man. We got Ronnie Blue Eyes, Pino, DVS stuck in the system. New Age Plug, you did it again. What up, fellas?
Yeah, we here.
Good night, everybody. Good night. Good night.
Let's get into it.
Yeah, let's get straight into it,
chat, man. Salute to everybody watching, man. Hit the like button if you like something. Let's go.
Okay, so we're gonna be reacting to some videos tonight. One of the ones I want to react to is Turkey Tom. Turkey Tom has a really good documentary on Jeremy. It basically breaks down the whole situation.
What's up with this? Florida man sentenced to prison for filing false tax returns.
Okay, so after he does his time in the Florida State Penitentiary, Jeremy has to go to the feds. He was sentenced to 41 months for prison back in January 2025. Now, after he gets done with his time in Florida prison in 2031, he will have to go do his 41 months. But this is the kicker. When it comes to the feds, they don't have to do 100% usually, right, Pino?
I don't know about the feds. I thought the feds was like 100%. I thought cause I know the feds sentences you to months. State sentences you to years. Feds sentence you to months. Um, I couldn't tell you as far as feds because I've never been to feds. But I read this while you had it on the screen. And if you can widen the screen to where this is the only thing on the screen, just so we could read it, because this is interesting, bro. I've actually bumped into somebody that's actually done this before.
Hold on, let me see if I can do that. Go ahead, keep talking while I try to figure that out.
Well, it says Orlando. I'm gonna squint my eyes. Bear with me, chat. It says Orlando, Florida. A Florida man sentenced yesterday to 41 months in prison for filing false tax returns with the IRS or 2 consecutive years that he knew underreported his business revenue. According to court documents and statements made in court, Jeremy Charles Dewitte, or Dewitte, however you want to say it, I call him Duboy Dewitte.
Dewitte.
Yeah, I call him Duboy Dewitte. Owned and operated Metro State Special Services, a funeral procession escort business located in Central Florida. Duboy Dewitte filed individual income tax returns for 2017 and 2018 that materially underestimated the revenue he received from the operating his business. In addition to the term of imprisonment, U.S. District Judge Julie S. Sneed ordered Duboy Dewitte to serve 1 year of supervised release and pay approximately $70,000 in restitution. Damn, to the United States of America. Acting Deputy Assistant Attorney General Stuart M. Goldberg of the Justice Department's Tax Division and U.S. Attorney Roger B. Handberg for the Middle District of Florida made the announcement. IRS Criminal Investigation investigated the case. Assistant Chief David Zisserson and Trial Attorney Curtis Wielder of the tax division prosecuted the case with assistance from the U.S. Attorney for the Middle District of Florida. So I was in the county jail with a motherfucker that I know DVS done seen this shit before too, but I was in the county jail with a motherfucker that would get people's social security, right? Nah, he was legitimately doing this. Some people he would fuck over. I ain't gonna lie to you. He would just be lying to their ass. But some people he didn't fuck over. Some people he actually did it. But he would get your social and he would file income tax like you worked for his wife's business for the whole year. And this motherfucker was, bro, when I say he was making bank, because you know he's filing the max. He was making bank, bro. And he was bonding people like bro, he was preying on people, bro. Motherfucker would come in with a $500 bond and he'll be like, bet you ain't filed taxes yet. Let me get your social. I'll get you out. Boom. Bond him out and then boom, get another fucking 6,500 off of a return.
That's crazy, man. Salute to DB Bentley, too. And, yeah, he does have federal charges. Salute to everybody in the chat. It is Friday night going into Saturday, 11:19 p.m. We are here. We are the YouTube streets. Blue, how you feeling, man?
Cool and no fooling, repping newly. Now I'm doing.
DVS, are you here with us?
Here, loud and clear, present.
Yeah.
Present.
Awesome. I don't know if you want to bring up the Turkey Tom video, DVS, or you want me to bring it up. But if you can, I don't know if we want to react to that now. Let's get to it, bro. Because it's an hour long. We got to watch the whole thing. It's gonna break down to exactly why the heck he's in this situation and give us. Basically, it's like Jeremy Dewitte for dummies. We're gonna fucking go in this head first. Pause.
Let's get it. Y'all make sure y'all smash that like, man. Make sure y'all smash that like, share, subscribe if you're not already subscribed. YouTube streets.
So you're gonna have to type in Turkey Tom, Jeremy Dewitte, D White, whatever the fuck his stupid ass name is. Dewitte. What is the proper way to say it, actually?
I don't know. Shout out to Jennifer. Jennifer dropped 440 jewels, and she said, "Unk alert,
Uncle Alert.
Unk alert."
Dad Unk. That's my new rap name, Dad Unk.
Did I do it or do white?
Do
One or
it.
the other.
Dewitte. I call him
Dewitte, do it or D white.
Oh gosh. So you got to put in Jeremy DBS. Here, let me just share the link. Hold on, dude. Stay right there. You don't even have to move. Look in the
Bro,
private
he got
chat.
this, bro. He's just a slow typer. Let him do
Look
his
in the
thing.
private chat. It's right there for you, buddy. It's in the private chat, brother.
It's undeniable that position.
All right, here we go. Here we go. Listen up. Let's go.
Positions of power attract those hungry to exploit it. The prospect of being a police officer, while attractive to those with the best intentions, also have the potential to give bad actors a free pass to hurt innocent people, both verbally and physically. But a very select few who crave this power
Whoa.
decide to forego the standard 40 weeks at the police academy and just illegally pretend to be police officers instead. You might be surprised to learn that this is not an uncommon issue by any means, with dozens of hours of footage online showcasing various civilians illegally masquerading.
So I always had the fascination of why somebody would want to become a cop in the first place, right? Because you don't get paid a super lot. And I think it goes back to when they're a child and they have to have some kind of, they want to be the person in charge. Because you know that some of these cops do get a high off of like telling you what to do. I remember one time I got pulled over and the cop couldn't find shit on me. So he went to like where my feet were, like where, at the floor mat. And he like found a bunch of like little crumbs of weed. And he was trying to get enough weed to charge me with a gram. Shit was ridiculous.
My dog went to jail for a seed.
Yeah,
What?
Yeah,
Yeah,
for a seed.
my homeboy, he went to jail for a seed.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. Go ahead, DBS.
Yeah, and I was just gonna say I've been arrested for shit I didn't even have on me. There was an empty weed bag that was like 5 feet away from me. They threw me in there on that and took me in and charged me for some shit I didn't even have on me. That's what they do.
Hey, shout out to me. I just beat my weed case. Possession.
Yeah.
Possession 200. It was originally possession 246 grams. Then they dropped it to 146 grams, and then they no processed the case after we put a motion to file for motion to suppress because it was an illegal stop. Cop said his reason for stopping me was an illegal right-hand turn. We subpoenaed his body cam and his dash cam, and his dash cam shows me making a proper right turn with my turn signal and all.
Oh wow, yeah, fuck the system, man. That's what's up.
Yeah, we don't cover the. Someone said, "Why do we don't cover David?" We don't cover the David case. It's like, first of all, it's real cut and dry, and then a lot of people they're acting like they're into the case because they're fans of his music, and his streams are just going up and up and up. I don't really fuck with it. I don't like the case. It's cut and dry. The blood got found in the car recently. I am still keeping up with it, but Trap Lord Ross got it. Let him have it.
Shout out to Forging Thought for the 1,000 jewels.
Forging Thought, salute, brother.
Yeah, so how does this Jules thing work? I mean, this is new to me. I just saw this when we came in.
I think it's like TikTok. Shout out to YouTube Junkie too for the 10 jewels. I believe it's like TikTok. It just makes it more affordable for some people to support. You know what I mean? Like like some people don't want to give $2. Some people feel more comfortable throwing 50 cents, $1, or something like that. I think that's what it is. I just think it's another way to support. That's it. YouTube is giving creators a bigger way to support. They're in competition with TikTok. Yeah. At the end of the day, they're in competition.
That's why they make the short videos.
Yeah. Shout out to Big Trav, 440 jewels. Justified, 10 jewels. Cynthia Nicole, 2 jewels. Everybody's dropping jewels now. Happy birthday, plugger.
We hear it. However, one individual has managed to stand out above the rest.
Do you want to be a cop, or do you want to appear to be a cop?
Softest.
It's an honest question. A lot of guys want to appear to be cops. Your gun, badge, pretend they're on TV.
Over here now!
That hit
Pull your
hard.
car here now! Get out of the fucking way!
That's the
Move
departed.
your fucking
Dude, that's
car!
him right there. This is
Right
Jerry.
here!
Dude.
Get out of the
I
way!
swear
When
I
your
went
mom or
through this
grandma
before,
dies,
bro.
I hope they cut into you too. Show some
Whoa.
fucking respect. Where the fuck are you going?
I would have hit his
Get
ass
out of
with a
my
bottle.
funeral now! Get out of my funeral now! Get out of my funeral now! And stay there until we're clear! Or I'm gonna take you down myself! Drive! Drive!
Yeah, roid rage.
Dude, he's about to have
That's
a
roid
dude.
rage, bro.
He's about
Fuck
to
it.
have a heart attack, bro.
Hey! Pull over!
Bro, was he on roids?
Yo, that's roid rage. He's bugging.
Was
No,
he
there's no way.
roiding?
No, absolutely not. I've seen pictures of this dude. He definitely didn't
He
take
said
any
nah.
kind of TRT or anything, bro. He was running off of straight fumes.
No HGH, yeah,
He,
he's just
he might
emotional.
have some. He might have some underlying conditions, man.
Yeah.
Mental
But I
health.
tell you what, every
Bro,
time I
stop.
get in the car, I have a water bottle. I keep water bottles in the fridge, Pure Life water bottles, and I always
Ready
before
to
I
throw
get in
them
the car.
bitches.
Oh my God, bro! If he would have turned
I'm
in front of
already
me
knowing.
like that, that shit would have been, bro. I played baseball for like 6
Yeah.
years of my younger life, bro. I know how to throw.
But the crazy part is when you look at what he's doing, he's actually in the way. Those people are actually in the, like, if you look at the video, like
Well,
they're
he's
just
an
doing what they're
escort
supposed.
service. DBS. Remember, this is a funeral that's going on. You know how they do the escort from the
Yeah.
funeral home to the
Yeah,
graveyard. So he's actually guiding the traffic to have the escort, and people are. He's taking it to another level. But we know why he's out there. It's not like he's just showing up and doing this out of nowhere.
no, I know, but he's not even doing it the right way, man. I did the flagging, man. I was in the
Oh,
union.
you were a flagger and you were
Yeah.
security too. Both
Yeah, I
things.
did. So, but he's not direct. He has no sense of direction when it, like, he has no control over the situation. Like, he's just yelling to yell.
It's funny we talking about this, bro. Cause remember, Plug. I don't know if you remember, but like 3 months ago, me, you, and DVS were on the phone on a 3-way call, and the car, there was a merge lane, and the car I was in the merge lane. There's a regular lane. A funeral procession car was coming. The car got so scared that they jumped in front of me and slammed on their brakes in the merge lane, and I rear-ended them. Insurance covered everything. I really ain't worried about nothing, but I rear-ended them, and it was because they were so scared of the funeral procession car that was driving by at 60 miles an hour in a Charger with all its lights going and his arms out the window, that they jumped in my lane and slammed on their brakes, dog, and I hit them, bro, while I was on the phone with y'all boys. That's crazy.
Yeah, actually, remember that. Yeah, sent out the phone real quick.
Yeah.
Let's continue. Salute to Forge of Dot, salute to Mary Dean, and salute to everybody that's donated. Carmela,
Yeah.
Cynthia, Justified, Big Trav,
Yeah, thank you for the
YouTube
support.
Junkie. Salute to YouTube Junkie. Christine, Jade, salute. Jennifer, salute. Go ahead.
Pull over! Hey! Get your fucking car out of the way now! I don't give a fuck what you don't understand! Pull forward now! Pull forward now! Get your fucking car out of the way now! I don't give a fuck what you don't understand! Pull forward now! Pull forward now!
Jeremy Charles Dewitte was born on February 10th, 1980 in Central
Dewitte.
Florida.
One
with
more thing
dreams of
before we start this, because this is important. Everyone needs to know. He also did a form of stolen valor. Like, he's saying that he was he got injured in the military and all this stuff. This dude is the scum of scum. He's a compulsive liar. He's lied about his whole life. Go ahead.
I mean, more importantly, I'm sorry to say, but more important, well, I'm not sorry to say, but more importantly, this guy's a fucking chomo. This guy
sure.
is
I
a
think-
convicted
Yeah, let's not
chomo.
forget that.
Yeah, I think we're forgetting that
First
part.
things
right?
first. Nah, never. You
We're
right.
not
First things
forgetting, man.
first.
DBS, what are you talking about, bro? I put the
No,
video
we're-
out with the paperwork. I looked around
What is
YouTube.
your-
No.
Cool it down.
DBS,
Cool it
listen,
down. Slow down,
listen.
kid. Nobody's
listen.
talking to you, bro. Slow it down,
Listen.
bro.
I know, but you're still talking. Listen, when it comes to what we put out, I haven't seen no other channel that breaking down his paperwork. We showed that. I was just making sure that you, because this is something that you never mentioned. He has stolen valor as well. Just putting it
That
out.
is correct. He said he jumped in Fallujah.
Becoming a police officer one day, young Jeremy enlisted in a dual enrollment program in high school, in which he would spend his nights at the police academy and
Nobody's
his days
forgetting
with the
he's a
local
chomo.
Orange
Fuck that narrative. Continue.
County Police Explorers program. This program allows teens and young adults to receive early training and experience in preparation for a future career in law enforcement. It was clear that Jeremy was eager to get his foot in the door. However, with his involvement in day-to-day police duties, opportunities to facilitate traffic and crowd control, and of course a snappy official police officer's uniform, it's likely that Jeremy felt he had already achieved his dream. That explains why, before he even had a chance to officially enter the academy, an 18-year-old Jeremy was arrested for impersonating a police officer on May 18th, 1990.
He did it before. He did it before. Look at this fucking dweeb right here, dude.
1998.
After pulling into a gas station, Jeremy filled his car up with $14.50 of gasoline. Jeremy's prepaid mobile card was declined when he attempted to pay for the gas, and supposedly he had no other means to pay. Naturally, the gas station attendant requested the standard issue gas card that's given to all Florida police officers, but Jeremy said he left it at home. On the principle that he was a police officer, he pledged to return later, which the attendant allowed. And as a show of goodwill, Jeremy even gave the gas station employee his full name, address, date of birth, and phone number. However, he never returned. So the attendant called the police, and Jeremy was arrested a few days later. It probably wasn't a great idea to give his personal information.
Yeah, that's Jeremy
to the
right there, bro. He really looked like a chomo right there, bro.
Yeah.
He really fits the category of a chomo.
I didn't know Oakley made regular glasses. That's crazy.
Let's talk about how $14 was enough to fill his tank in 1998. Damn.
That is crazy. And for him to, why did he need to say the cop thing? Why can't he just said, "Hey, I'm coming"? Because I remember back then in Florida where we would pump before we paid. And that's what happened here. He pumped it already, went in to pay, didn't have the money. Why did he have to act like a police officer? Because now you have a whole timeline of when he done this back then. He done the same thing that he was doing in 2021, whatever it was, in 2019, I think, 2018.
I ain't got no doubt. Shit. No doubt he feeding information, because there'd be a lot of little snitches at the work camp. Ain't no doubt he feeding information. If he works in the kitchen, he done got cool with somebody in the kitchen, and he feeding the information to the police, trying to be a cop.
He's gonna be around the police on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna be their pet.
He's gonna be a sucker.
He's gonna be at the bubble. He's gonna be at the desk. He's gonna be sweeping and cleaning their fucking offices. He's gonna be doing all that shit.
He gonna be the one in the bubble throwing the trash out, fucking all that little shit.
Clerk of the store he was robbing, but whatever. $14.50 is the price that Jeremy was unwilling to pay to not completely destroy his life. Had he simply not stolen from the gas station that day, he likely would have continued on his path to become a cop. But after committing this felony offense, Jeremy was completely ineligible to ever be a real police officer. But this wouldn't deter him from pursuing his dream. He sought out alternatives, such as working as a security guard in an apartment complex where he apparently was reported for illegally detaining and searching one of the residents. This job didn't seem to be too fulfilling for him, however.
And that incident has something to do with the kid being Middle Eastern. If rewind back to the paperwork. So, and this is another incident of him acting like a George Zimmerman. Like, if he stayed at this job, he would end up killing somebody. But following this, Dewitte worked for a while as security at an apartment complex where he reported for illegally detaining and searching a resident. He was known to make untrue claims that there was he was in the special forces and had pursued it in the battle in the Middle East to defuse bombs. See, that's the stolen valor shit I'm talking about. It's crazy. He would go on. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say he frequently wore the military fatigues and medals to prove it.
Yeah, but he said he parachuted in and defused bombs. It sounds so far out. That's like somebody coming in and saying, "Yo, I was making $1 million a month and I had a helicopter with spinners."
He wouldn't have to wear it to prove it. You know?
He told somebody he parachuted in Fallujah.
Into defuse bombs, bro. What the fuck are you talking about, my guy? Bro, if I'd have heard this shit, bro, I'd have stopped the record, bro. Stop fucking lying.
Obviously he's lying, because I mean, all right. So my father is 82nd Airborne. My grandpa is 82nd Airborne, and those are the people that are jumping. Those are the jumpers. Those are the jump masters. So
he said he was in special forces, so he's
right.
He's not gonna have any of that lingo and all the, the G checking from somebody that's been in Airborne. Be like, yo, what to do? And then somebody spit it back. He's
Not
not
only
gonna.
that, but he's saying he's defusing bombs. Motherfuckers that are paratrooping, like my dad and my grandpa, master paratroopers and people who earn their wings, they're not defusing fucking bombs.
But this is what I'm saying. He said he was in special forces. So
Yeah.
special forces they're well rounded in a lot of things, right? They got a little bit of everything.
Yeah, he was trying to make it seem like
So
more.
he alleviated the G checking and somebody actually checking back in and be like, yo, where you was at? Yo, listen, special forces, we don't talk about that. Classified
G14 classified.
Bro, we've seen so many people on YouTube do the stolen valor shit, and they do that same little trick you just said. Go ahead.
I mean,
military,
one of the
police, and gangs.
Apparently,
go ahead, Blue. What you
This
say?
job did
You know, it originally from military, but they be doing it with police and gangs. They be claiming some shit that not stolen valor.
Oh shit! Good point, Blue.
I'm gonna say apparently another chomo too on YouTube also has stolen valor. Offended Outcast has stolen valor.
Ooh, Uncle Cy on crack cocaine. Old old Outcast. Yeah, he's a registered pedophile.
Shit, you got prison YouTubers that are not they're stolen valor on a prison YouTube tip. Dudes ain't never been to jail, and they're talking about they've been in jail, man.
The Dante show.
Say names with it. Big Lance saying he was a shot caller for DMI.
Oh no, that's wild, man.
Yeah, a lot of I don't know. They got to start proving this shit.
I'm gonna just say this because we beefing. Jumpsuit Pablo, the head of the GDs.
All right, that was a skit. That was a skit. I don't think he ever said he was really the head of the GDs. He was a hold down man, bro.
Suitcase this.
Yeah, he held the store down, brother.
didn't seem to be too fulfilling for him, however, as he felt his true calling was to protect and serve the public. So he continued to impersonate law enforcement for the foreseeable future. However, this behavior would catch up with him when he was arrested on August 29th, 2001 for, you guessed it, impersonating law enforcement. You see, earlier that day, Jeremy arrived at a local mechanic with what looked like an unmarked police cruiser. He told an employee at the mechanic to bill the Orange County Sheriff's Department for the car.
This dude has got to be the stupidest motherfucker I've ever heard about, bro.
Repairs, implying
he said put it on their tab. He's like, I wanted them. Put it on their tab.
That's crazy.
An unmarked police car. He also claimed that a mark on the side of the vehicle was the result of an altercation in which he was attempting to detain a criminal at the scene of a crime. Most damning, Jeremy supposedly directly confirmed he was indeed a cop and was working undercover at the local mall. During the inspection, the mechanic observed that the car had all the bells and whistles you would expect, with a working police radio and lights. Jeremy was also wearing what is described as a police-like uniform and a bulletproof vest. But one curious bystander who witnessed the interaction became suspicious and called the police. When questioned by actual police officers, Jeremy denied ever claiming to be a cop himself, but he was insistent that the investigators didn't look at his criminal record, which would obviously show that he had a history of impersonation. Not only would they find his previous arrest from the gas theft, but also an instance in 1999 when he was arrested for using a fake name on his driver's license and was carrying a concealed weapon. Even 4 months prior, he had been issued a citation for the use of flashing red and blue lights on his vehicle. Jeremy was on probation at the time due to his previous arrests, and the investigating officers promptly contacted his probation officer, who explicitly stated that Jeremy was indeed violating his probation. During a search of his car, which Jeremy consented to, the officers found police-style equipment like clipboards and radios. They also found a gun bag holder, which had a Dade County Sheriff's badge, a security badge, a knife, and various license plates. Then they searched his apartment and found law enforcement paraphernalia like batons, badges, patches, and police belts. One of these belts contained a holster with a black BB gun inside of it. All of this gave them probable cause to arrest Jeremy for violating his probation, as clearly he was still pretending to be law enforcement.
Here, imagine all the stuff he did doing that. Like, we've seen where 6ix9ine, we talked about this earlier in the year, 6ix9ine's been targeted by a certain organization that is falsely being police officers to do what they want, pull people over. What has Jeremy done? Has he fucking abused women this way? Has he fucking stole people's drugs this way? Dude, this dude has been falsely impersonating police officers for 20 years, dude. It's crazy.
I ain't gonna lie to you. So I had a couple homeboys. We just gonna say I had a couple homeboys. They used to dress in all black, right? And they would go to the like clubs and the little raves and the little where all the 18, 19, 21, you know what I mean? The 18 and 21 clubs. and this is back in the day. They would dress in all black, and they would sneak flashlights in, and they would run down on people by the bathroom who they seen doing transactions or like snorting a bag of coke or popping some X or whatever the case may be. They would run down on them, tell them to give them everything, and that they have to leave the club. Yeah.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, definitely.
Found guilty and ordered to serve 1 year in the Orange County Jail, as well as being required to attend mental health counseling. He was also given 3 years of probation after his jail time and ordered to do 250 hours of community service. On top of that, his probation specifically required him not to possess any law enforcement officer equipment, meaning that his days of police impersonation were over. At least, they should have been over. After a year in the slammer, Jeremy was itching to protect and serve. In 2003, he was arrested for violating his community control, which is basically a stricter version of probation, and as a result, he was sentenced to 22 months in jail. Before he could officially be convicted of that crime, however, a warrant was issued for his arrest after multiple failures to pay traffic tolls, driving with a suspended license, as well as using a fake name on a driver's license, and the possession of a fraudulent identity card. Now, this fraudulent card in question had his name listed as Brett Eldon Solomon, which some of you in the audience may have noticed is not actually Jeremy's name. Brett was actually his roommate at the time. Jeremy had stolen his social security number and produced not only a fake ID, but also a fake passport with his name. This guy is addicted to identity theft. Ultimately, Jeremy was sentenced to 10 months in prison, which was the remaining time of his previous sentence after his 1 year and 64-day credit he already had for time served. Now, I know that the guy who pretends to be a police officer obviously has no problem doing illegal stuff, but it is really impressive how someone masquerading as a cop is so comfortable breaking the law. What this conundrum likely boils down to is that his desire to be a cop didn't come from a noble sense of protecting the peace, but instead it's just a free pass to do whatever he wants and a thirst for power. However, if you thought that Jeremy's blatant disregard for the law couldn't get any worse, you are sorely mistaken.
Here we go. Go ahead, DBS. What you want to say?
Yeah, this is where it gets hot.
Yeah, this is where. Hey, make sure you talk on this because I gotta go handle something real quick. But this is where you need to pay attention because this is like you said earlier. You're saying that everyone's forgetting about this part. Well, you were about to remind everybody again. Let's go.
For the majority of 2004, Jeremy managed to stay out of trouble, but he would once again find himself in scalding hot water in October of that year. And now 24-year-old Jeremy went out to a nightclub in Orlando, where he met a young woman who supposedly claimed to be 18 years old. They hooked up that night and met up again in November of that year. It all seemed fine until January of 2005, when a warrant was issued for his arrest for 2 charges of unlawful interactions with a minor. Apparently, the girl had lied about her age and was actually only 15. Now, whether Jeremy knew about this or not is uncertain, but the court did seem to believe there was enough evidence to warrant a conviction, as Jeremy ultimately chose to withdraw his original not guilty plea and instead accept a deal. The judge ruled he was guilty on 1 count of lewd or lascivious battery on July 20th, 2005. He was originally facing 15 years in prison, but instead he got off with a 1 year and 1 day sentence, also being sentenced to 5 years of sex offender probation. Jeremy.
So, let's talk about it. Where do we start? Where do we begin? The fact that he got so little time? Or let's go back to the call, Ronnie. Remember, he called himself a diddler more than once, on more than one occasion. So, I don't know.
He served his time and was able to stay out of trouble for a few years after the fact. However, in April of 2009, a warrant for his arrest was issued due to him violating his probation, again, something he would admit to during his hearing on June 18th of that year. Facing another 8 years in prison, Jeremy's luck hadn't run out yet, and he was only forced to serve 4. As it turns out, he was trying to set up a junior varsity airsoft team full of minors, which he was not supposed to do as part of his probation.
Yeah, this is where it gets weird.
Bro, you heard that right, bro. He was trying to set up a varsity team full of minors as a convicted chomo. And shout out to Pebbles, big shout out to Pebbles 1780 with the $20 in the chat, man. Happy birthday to Plug. Big shout out to Pebbles.
Salute to Pebbles.
Heard that right. You heard that right.
But yeah, I don't get it, man. I'm not understanding. Like, he's never denied it on that phone call. Right? He's accepted the fact that, the diddler charge. That's what he calls it. the diddler charge.
Yeah, it's a diddler charge. And he tried, at first he said that the girl had a fake ID at a club. Not true. This was his cousin's friend. Or no, this was his friend's cousin, and he knew this girl. He groomed her, and then and she said what she said. It was oral. Let's not forget. Let's go.
Oh, yeah,
Disgusting.
nasty little fucker.
Yeah, he went down.
He didn't engage with anyone under the age of 18. Despite habitually finding himself in and out of prison over the last 10 years, Jeremy was not deterred. There was no wake-up call or moment of clarity that helped him get his act together. He still wanted everything he couldn't have, specifically legally protected power, and he needed a way to achieve it. He couldn't become an actual police officer, and flat out lying about being one would send him right back to jail. He needed to find a loophole, and one fateful day, it appears he had an epiphany.
Metro State.
In a video,
yeah, this is his company right here. Which he had some money. Listen, when he did his little fake MTV Cribs, bro, he had every single bottle of cologne you could think of. He had like 20 freaking Oakley shades. He was switching, dude. He was making money in this business, and I don't know if they end up taking all of his money because the scamming and what he did with the feds and the tax evasion, all this shit. But he was making money doing this business.
Yeah, more than likely they took all that, man. They auctioned all that shit off to try to get whatever it is that they can what he owed.
Oh, somebody's driving a Metro police motorcycle out there somewhere. They auctioned that shit off, dude.
Yeah, I bet it's tuned up too, man. He looked like he was moving around on that thing. It looked like it was very well taken care of.
Yeah, he goes to the mechanic and lies. He says, "Hey, I work for the police. Soup this thing up."
Yeah. Probably found a sucker somewhere or found a loophole.
Jeremy actively breaks Section 316-306 of Florida state law by recording himself while operating a moving vehicle. Ironically, something he would probably harass someone else for if he got the opportunity. Petty nitpicking aside, he tells the story of the moment he found a way to exercise his power fantasy. One day, Jeremy was walking down the street with his wife. And yes, by the way, this guy somehow managed to find a woman willing to actually marry him. So enough out of you incels out there, okay? Anyone can find love. But more on his wife later. On their walk, they noticed a funeral escort service on the street. A funeral escort, for those unaware, is a service that provides guidance and protection for funeral processions as they cross through intersections and traffic lights. While blocking off traffic at the intersection near Jeremy and his wife, one of the traffic lights turned green, and a car outside of the procession mistakenly began driving through instead of waiting like they were supposed to. This caused a massive accident, which Jeremy described as very severe. He supposedly rushed to the aid of one of the passengers in the crash and called emergency services to have them rescued.
Bro, he caused the crash.
Yes. Go ahead.
He
Pino.
caused it, bro. I'm just gonna say, bro, what he does causes crashes, bro.
That's allegedly right now, because they're talking about how he came into getting the idea for the business. So I don't know. I don't think he's the one that caused the crash, but
Well, he's a chomo. Everything that he done, everything they're accusing him of, he's done. He needs to get the most time, and fuck the law when it comes to this motherfucker.
Stepped back and said to myself and my wife, I can do this better. I know that I can do it better. I know that somebody should have always been there. I know that we should be following, or they should be following, EVOC procedures.
Whether or not this story is true is not for me to say. However, I will say that I doubt that Jeremy's main concern at that time was upholding the pristine funeral escort services. Rather, he likely saw a profession in which he would be granted legal authority to use flashing lights, sirens, uniforms, and legally dictate the flow of traffic. It was the closest thing to a police officer that he could possibly be. This one event birthed.
So I think we need to jump back to the adolescent or the minor thing, right? He's predatorial, and that shows his mindset. Because, all right, impersonating an officer and going through the extents of what he's doing, that's different, right? That's like a sense of freedom. But the
Goes
fact
hand
that
in hand, though.
Yeah,
Because
use
now
the
he's
power.
using that badge. Exactly. He's using that badge to get closer with these kids.
That's what I'm getting to.
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying earlier, DVS. There's no telling of what we haven't caught with him, or they haven't caught. What has he been doing in between these bids and these sentences, bro? It's get to your point. Yeah, you have a good. Though.
Well, to get to my point is the fact that he's able and willing to do something with children or minors, and the fact that he's so comfortable with dressing up as an officer, it would be so much easier for him to take advantage of a child in an officer's suit, or even with the body language and the authority of an officer, that can definitely change the trajectory of whatever it is that you know a child may think is going on, because he can change it because he's wearing that uniform, and he's pretty much going to take advantage and groom. I just think that we should be focused on that before the cop impersonating thing. He is a predator first and foremost.
Yeah.
Let me ask you
Don't
this.
forget
right?
the volleyball team full of minors. Don't forget that.
That is
I
crazy.
think it was the airsoft team, if I'm not mistaken.
Let me ask you this though. When you look at let's say you're looking at a fire department, right? They got that sign, at least in Florida, they got the sign that says safe place. Pino knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So for him to dress up as somebody that because we're supposed as somebody that's a kid that's in danger, they're supposed to be able to go there and be safe. Dude, it's crazy that we can't even fucking go to a police department no more without feeling like this. And it's people like, I know he's not an actual cop, but there's been actual police officers that actually took advantage and done some there was
Abuse
one in
of
Florida
power, yeah.
many times. So
There
it's
were
just
just two cops out here that just copped out to raping a woman, let me say that, raping a woman that they
Allegedly.
arrested. No, it wasn't allegedly. This is what they did. They got sentenced for it. They just swept it under the rug and they put it out there in the whatchamacallit.
I know they did, but I would just say they can get convicted because now we gotta be careful.
Yeah, they got
We're getting
convicted.
lawsuits left and right, dude. We're getting
Listen,
lawsuits.
they got convicted, man. They're done. They're cooked. They
I got a
copped out.
message from Byron Blake, and he said, "Start saying allegedly. I'm coming for your ass." That's what he told me, bro.
Man, Byron Blake needs to sit down somewhere. He's getting happy because he's got some sort of paperwork going, man.
Byron Blake's the JLR of the prison genre. Go ahead.
Goddamn battle wars of papers. Yeah, paper wars. Fuck out of here, bro.
He's got a lawsuit for everybody coming.
I
bro.
mean,
Get ready.
hey, at the end of the day, and I'm just gonna play devil's advocate. Is paper wars any different than video wars? That's what 1090 does. Is he plays video wars.
Listen, the reason why Byron Blake is going to paper wars is because he can't win in the video wars, so he's going to paper. Now
Well, it's hard to win in a. Let's be realistic. It's hard to win in a video war when you're starting at the bottom and somebody's already at the top.
Yeah, but you got to remember, 1090 kind of gave him a little bit of clout. He just didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Blue. What you saying?
Aim high, miss side type shit.
Got you. Go ahead, Pino. What was you saying?
I was just gonna say. I mean, it's hard to compete. That's all. It's hard when you only have a few thousand subscribers and you're competing with somebody with 1 million, and then your channel gets taken, and then you really don't have a voice. So you go the paperwork route. He's not just suing. Let's not forget this too. He's not just suing Jake. He's also suing Cedric.
Jason Smith says I was wrong about the feds. You had to do 100%. My bad on that. I thought
That's what I thought the feds was 100%, and state is 8. I know state is 85.
Okay, I'm dyslexic. I got it backwards, golf. My bad.
State is depending on if it's a violent or non-violent. Non-violent 65%, and then violent would be 85% with good time.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing in Florida. Everything's 85 except for minimum mandatories. Minimum mandatories are whatever they are. So if it's 15 mandatory, you're doing 15.
Mike Hunt said, didn't Pino beat up Cherry? Yeah, but he's not. That's not what the lawsuit's about. I don't even think it's mentioned in the lawsuit, is it? No.
No, but
right.
you're mentioned in the lawsuit.
Yeah, no, I got a video coming on that. Let's continue.
The creation of Metro State Special Services in 2011. You might be asking, why did Jeremy choose the name Metro State? Well, it could have something to do with the fact that it's a combination of the terms Metro Police and State Police, but that's just my 2 cents. If the eerily police-like name isn't enough, consider how good it would look on a repurposed police cruiser or a black and white motorcycle covered in police
That
lights.
shit
or
looks like a real
consider
cop
the completely
at first, bro.
unnecessary funeral.
Like he would get me. Like I'd be like, oh shit, there's a cop behind me.
Bro, if I was in Miami, he would get me, bro, because Miami's police department is called Metro Dade. So he would get me. If we was in Dade, bro, he would get me, bro.
What is he, some sort of thumbnail expert now? Come on, guy. Listen, I think that this for anybody who knows, right? If he was to pull you over, Pino, I think it would take you more, maybe less, 5 or more seconds to figure out that this guy is
Oh
definitely.
yeah, 100%. But I would pull over.
Oh
I
yeah,
would.
Look at his
absolutely. Any kind
badge,
of
DVS. Look at that
right.
badge.
Yeah,
It looks just like the.
at first he might have had me, but once things started didn't click or he got irate and he didn't keep the tempo, because listen, officers, man, they keep the tempo, bro. They shut the whole situation down with their authority, their presence, their verbiage, their tone, everything. So if he cracks just a little bit and he gets, you see how he gets irate, that would definitely put me on my ears would perk up and be like, oh, that's not normal. Son's not holding the room the way he should.
Bro,
What's going
he
on?
put a badge number on the badge.
Yeah, he's crazy. He's out of his mind.
Oh my
really
god.
Escort badge, each
I think
quote
he
unquote
ordered it
motor
like
officer.
that. You didn't have to
Yeah.
pause it. I was just gonna say I think he ordered it like that and requested to put a number on it. That looks very similar though, like stupidly similar.
Is issued, which looks nearly identical to a standard issue police badge.
Only reason I know
could go
'cause,
on and on with
Black
the
100 has that
comparisons, but
badge.
I think you
What?
Black 100 has that badge.
My bad. I'm cutting out. Go ahead.
Allegedly.
get the idea.
We got dual speakers in the front for louder air horning, multiple front lights, corner lights, side lights, 45-degree angle lights, and that's all for the reason of intersections. You got to make sure the intersection knows that you're there. As you see, the lights are purple.
Jeremy had found a legal loophole, and he purchased 2 cars to begin his work. He also enlisted the help of his younger brother, Dylan, to assist him in his operation. Dylan shares more than just blood relations with his older brother, as he also has a propensity for crime. Both of the brothers would find themselves in legal trouble during their early years as funeral service escorts, with a plethora of traffic citations between the two of them. Dylan also managed to find himself placed on the sex offender registry for nearly the same
runs in the blood. So.
exact crime as his brother Jeremy.
Scumbags.
Dylan was caught flirting with and sending graphic imagery to who he believed was an underage person, but was actually a local detective conducting a massive sting operation.
Why don't you have a seat?
I just need to get home. I'm not doing the show.
Go ahead and take a seat.
But I'm not going to do this.
Take a seat right over there.
But the thing that really united them is their shared passion for funeral service escorting. Right off the bat, they obviously look like police officers, but how does a job like this allow them the same power and control? Well, rather than explaining it to you, I think it's better that I just show it.
Get in the car and move up the wrong side of the road and get to me now. And then when that van gets, come on, wave that guy, come on. When that van, green artillery, get to me now. Get to me now. Move. Stay on your horn. Stay on.
Yo, you know what I'm noticing? This dude
He
wants
power
to be a
tripping,
bike-
bro.
No, listen, this dude wants to be a biker so bad. Because I'll tell you right now, man. Listen, anybody who rides bikes knows what I'm talking about. He's trying to shut down the highway to make sure that he's showing off one, and he just wants to control, but he has no organization. Like he doesn't know, the formula for stop and go, one go. One stay behind, one go, stay behind. It's almost like a ladder, like a chain kind of situation. He obviously doesn't have that down because he has no control. Like he's not in control of the situation at all. With the lights, the helmet, the bike, everything. He's just a fucking retard.
Your horn, you got movers. Stay on your horn. You got a mover on the left. Blue sedan pulling out right from a blind building. You get over now! Get over now! Get over now! Pull over! Hey! Pull your fucking car over! Pull over! Hey! If you pull out of the funeral one more time, you're done. Drive!
Jeremy Dewitte, along with his brother and other employees, frequently engage in speeding, illegally weaving through traffic, and blaring their sirens during what's supposed to be a peaceful funeral service. Not to mention harassing, yelling, and swearing at random drivers for accidentally entering the procession line.
And stay there until we're clear, or I'm going to take you down myself. Stop your vehicle. I'm not going to tell you again. Sir, I'm not going to fucking tell you again.
That's
Stay
a
right
senior
fucking there.
citizen.
Stay right fucking there. Who the fuck do you think you are? I don't know what the fuck's going on. How do you fucking not know with all the sirens and lights, you lying motherfucker? What'd you call me? You heard me. Stay right there.
They're able to get away with it most of the time due to most people not realizing that they aren't actually police officers. That being said, some of the people they harass are able to sniff them out almost immediately.
I'm sorry? Are you okay?
I'm afraid, are you law enforcement?
I'm asking you a question. Are you okay?
If you're not law enforcement, I'm not stopping for you.
Listen, if you keep going, we'll figure it out real fast.
Let's figure it out real fast.
Oh, he called his bluff, stupid.
Hey, I was finna say that would have been me right there. Let's figure this shit out. Once I would have figured out he ain't law enforcement, well, let's figure this shit out.
Yeah, let's figure this out.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I'll be on the road and real shit. I'm from Broward. So if I'm on the road and I see in Broward and all cop cars look alike, right? But if I'm on the road and I'm like, say I'm flying down Sunrise and I see a Palm Beach sheriff's office car driving by, man, I don't slow down for their ass. You not in jurisdiction. I don't slow down. This motherfucker, I definitely wouldn't have slowed down. I don't slow down for police out of their jurisdiction. What make me think I'm for the slow down for you?
Law enforcement, identify yourself to me. What agency?
We're with Metro State. We're a state certified agency. You sit right there, please, sir.
That's right then and there. It would have been like, yeah, I'm out of here, kid. You can chase me down, do whatever you want, man. I'm out of here. You talking that craziness.
I think it's worth taking the time to explain what a funeral procession escort service actually has the jurisdiction to do. According to Florida state law, funeral processions are afforded freedom to pass through intersections as long as the escort arrives at the intersection when the light is still green. Once the light turns red, they are permitted to remain there and prevent the flow of traffic to allow the procession to pass through. Other drivers are responsible for giving the procession the right of way. However, escort services are not allowed to direct traffic or enforce drivers to pull over, much like Metro State can be seen doing in these clips. As mentioned prior, they're also not allowed to speed, drive over the road's median, force drivers in oncoming traffic to pull over. Basically, they have no legal authority to do literally anything. All they're allowed to do is go through a green light, and if the light turns red, they can keep going until the procession is passed through the intersection.
See him keep on popping that clutch, Ronnie?
Section. That's it. Taking a look at Florida state law in regards to police impersonation, the law clearly states a person who falsely assumes or pretends to be a sheriff or officer of the Florida Highway Patrol and takes upon himself to act as such, or to require any other person to aid or assist him in a matter pertaining to the duty of any such officer, commits a felony of the third degree. The key phrase here is to act as such. We could get into the finer details of how Jeremy blatantly presents himself as law enforcement, but when he and his crew are instructing drivers to pull over and stopping cars in the middle of the street, they are inherently breaking the law, regardless of what they're wearing or how they present themselves physically, which definitely don't help their case. I also think that it's important to point out that in clips where Jeremy is asked if he is a police officer, he avoids the question entirely, saying things like, I know what I'm allowed to do and what I'm not allowed to do.
What are you doing? What the fuck does it look like I'm doing, dumb fuck? Get the fuck over before you find out.
Stop pretending you're a police officer.
Listen, motherfuckers, I know what I'm allowed to do and what I'm not allowed to do. What you need to do is figure it the fuck out before you start talking shit and cutting us off.
I'm not cutting anyone.
Go ahead and pull your little phone out, do your little Google search and figure out what we're doing and what we legally allow. Good. Then back off and give us room.
I'm not interfering with you at all.
You are.
He does this in the hope of potentially convincing those he seeks to intimidate without directly breaking the law. That's not to say he isn't breaking the law, he absolutely is. And this will be shown by multiple interactions with the police that we'll continue to discuss throughout the rest of this video.
The Stop Gooning hat is back on turkeytom.shop, the latest and greatest in anti-gooning technology. This hat will prevent you, your ex-wife, your parents, your children, and
Jeremy is more than just a complete train wreck on the clock, however, as his own personal life manages to be equally tumultuous. Jeremy married his wife, Rania Mohammed Abdelrahman, on July 25th, 2005. The details of their relationship or how they met are uncertain, but it is known that Rania was born in Egypt and moved to America to be with Jeremy.
Got a military uniform on right there. What's up with that? Go back. Look at that uniform. Go back to stolen valor. That's straight stolen valor.
But what I'm trying to see
right there. Bro, listen, that's cabbage. What he got on him right there in the military, they call that cabbage. All them goddamn pins, that's called cabbage. That takes years and years and years and years to earn.
Yeah, my thing is he's actually with somebody who's actually maybe they're not.
Bro,
but
he's
somebody's
even got
behind
the
him.
jump wings on there.
That's what I'm saying. But somebody else is behind him that looks like they're in uniform, or they could be legit, or they might not be. But it doesn't seem like anybody really presses this dude. I guess he has that aura.
It looks like a jet, yeah.
Yeah. That's
but it
bro,
is
I'm
known
just
that
saying, like, it's crazy because that nobody press him or even talks to him, that he
Where's your
probably tries to,
credentials? Yeah.
with that amount of cabbage on his fucking chest, bro. You get what I'm saying? Like, but he probably tries, he's a master manipulator. He probably tries to avoid conflict, avoid conversation, avoid communicating.
Well, you got to remember when that one guy saw that he wasn't an officer, and he asked him, "Are you an officer?" He definitely didn't even he didn't acknowledge it. He didn't deny anything.
It's
He
his
just
old
changed it.
ROTC uniform.
Changed the whole subject.
Living It Up said it's his ROTC uniform. Oh, and Chris Kansas City said my veteran dad would kick his ass for stolen valor. I agree.
Rania was born in Egypt and moved to America to be with Jeremy. On top of that, their marriage license was issued on July 19th, 2005, which happened to be the same day that Jeremy pled guilty for his 2005 case involving the 15-year-old girl. I guess they decided to just get married on the same day he pled guilty, kill two birds with one stone kind of thing. Despite her spending years without her husband while he rotted in jail, she wanted to remain with him and stay faithful. Jeremy, on the other hand, was less fulfilled by their relationship, specifically in the bedroom, which likely prompted his decision to create an account on Ashley Madison. For the unaware, Ashley Madison is a dating site designed specifically for married people looking to arrange an affair behind their partner's back. Under the username SFOps2015, which references the phrase Special Force Operations, Jeremy began seeking women, specifically non-white exotic women who wanted more than just money. Luckily, Jeremy found just what he was looking for in a woman named Jennifer Burton. The two began chatting before exchanging contact details for the private messaging service Kik. During their conversation, Jeremy told Jennifer that he was a police officer, and his profile picture on Kik read, "Every cop who puts this on in the morning knows there's a chance they might not come back at night. Let's appreciate our cops."
Oh, God.
We also have some of their interactions, which are very funny. "You want me to call you? Is that you?" "Yup." On their first date, Jeremy showed up with police equipment and arrived in his Metro State Cruiser. They had a nice dinner at the Palm restaurant located in the Hard Rock Cafe and planned on getting a room after, but for some reason they weren't able to get a room, so they settled in at the local Comfort Inn and Suites instead. After a night of fun, the two parted ways. Jeremy had kept his name private, referring to himself only as Jay. Jennifer had learned of his last name, however, due to a patch that revealed his name was Dewitte. So she began searching different variations of his name to learn more about him, eventually correctly guessing the name of Jeremy Dewitte. That's when she discovered that he was a convicted felon and a registered sex offender. This concerned her greatly, considering it meant that he was pretending to be a cop. Jennifer confronted him about this, and he
That's wild work, bro.
Yeah, that's wild.
That's
but
crazy.
I think
Imagine you think you got yourself a military man, then you come to find out not only is he lying about that, you got some bad charges.
Well, I think her intuition definitely something definitely sparked her interest in looking into red flag on a play.
Continued to lie. Originally claiming his name was in fact Jay, he insisted that he was allowed to carry a gun on his belt, and he also claimed that his sex offender status was bogus. He also notably claimed that he joined the U.S. Special Forces, another complete lie that Jeremy will continue to push for the foreseeable future. Jeremy has a different side of the story, however. He claims their first date took place in December of 2017, as opposed to Jennifer, who claimed the date was in March of 2018. He says they only had sex one time, the day of their first date, and they never got down and dirty ever again. Shortly after, Jennifer began asking for money. While he did oblige her with cash for a while, when Jeremy's wife found out that he was giving her money, she put an end to it. Shortly after he stopped sending the funds, he was contacted by the cops in relation to an anonymous tip in which he was accused of smuggling firearms. After a thorough investigation, the police turned up with no evidence of that claim. Regardless of what really happened, it's certain that Jennifer decided to call the police on Jeremy, noted by a police report in April of 2018. On the 7th of that month, a warrant was issued for his arrest for 2 counts of failing to register online accounts as a sex offender. You see, part of Jeremy's conditions as an offender were that he had to inform the police of any online accounts he created, which he hadn't done for his Ashley Madison or his Kick. A trial ensued and it would continue for some time. However, unbeknownst to the courts, Jennifer and Jeremy had already made amends 1 month after his arrest. Supposedly, Jeremy heavily pressured her to change her testimony during this time, threatening to either flee to Egypt with his wife or take his own life. Yes, by the way, even after learning of his affair, his wife stayed with him. The two seemed to remain out of each other's lives for some time, but it all came crashing down in the early months of the following year. On February 20th, 2019, Jennifer called the cops and alleged that on January 28th, she had been assaulted by Jeremy. Under the pretense that Jeremy wanted to show off his new ambulances for Metro State, Jennifer arrived at the headquarters. Supposedly, Jeremy had coerced her inside of the ambulance and assaulted her inside of it. The police and Jennifer eventually decided to do a controlled phone call in which Jennifer would call Jeremy to gather evidence while the police listened in. However, when she called, she was shocked to hear a woman answer the phone, a woman by the name of Jessica. Jennifer claimed to have not known who Jessica was, yet surprisingly, Jessica knew that Jennifer was, quote, not allowed to call Jeremy. This is likely because Jennifer had filed a restraining order against Jeremy just a day before she called the police about the assault. On the 6th of February, she had written an email to the judicial assistant presiding over Jeremy's pending case, where she revealed that Jeremy had been attempting to get her to change her story and revoke her claims. Supposedly, when this was discovered, Jeremy and his employees began sending Jennifer harassing phone calls, and she was eventually granted a restraining order against him. But ultimately, this allegation of sexual assault went nowhere, as it appears to be fabricated. Shortly after, Jeremy accepted a plea deal of 1 year of community control. However, 2 weeks later, he had already managed to violate it, resulting in his subsequent arrest. He faced 5 years in prison, but ultimately was sentenced to only 30 days, with 23 days already served, meaning he spent 1 whole week in jail before becoming a free man once again. Once he was out, the no contact order against Jennifer was lifted. If you're confused about all of this, that's because the situation is genuinely confusing. From what I'm able to figure out, Jennifer had become jealous when she discovered Jessica's existence. Full name Jessica Bolden, she seems to be another quote-unquote exotic woman that Jeremy met on Ashley Madison. It appears that after Jennifer learned about her involvement in Jeremy's life, she became jealous and began trying to get Jessica arrested. Both Jeremy and Jessica seem to believe that Jennifer is responsible for an anonymous CPS call against her as well. This anonymous CPS caller claimed that Jessica was doing drugs and drinking, and also claimed to have witnessed Jessica's children playing with Heineken bottles. In a follow-up call, the individual claimed that one of her children was friends with Jessica's daughter. They also alleged that Jessica's boyfriend was molesting the young girl, and that she didn't care to stop it. Notably, they claim that the boyfriend in question is a registered offender, drives a security car, and has a wife named Rania, clearly referencing Jeremy. Ultimately, these allegations never amounted to anything, including the investigation into Jeremy's alleged assault of Jennifer, which, as mentioned prior, turned up no evidence of wrongdoing. From what I can tell, Jennifer is probably some form of mentally ill, in a manner that somehow makes Jeremy Dewitte look pretty normal, which is impressive. Jennifer herself has a long history with law enforcement and filing reports. In March of 2018, her own grandmother filed a request for her eviction from her apartment. She claimed that Jennifer was both physically and verbally abusive. She also claims that Jennifer has a long history of filing false police reports, including unspecified accusations she made against her grandmother's son. The final straw was a police report she filed against her grandmother, which resulted in her arrest. Jessica, on the other hand, is a bit more sane. At least as sane as you can be while consenting to be in a relationship with a guy like Jeremy. However, she was well aware of Jeremy's propensity to get involved with law enforcement. In fact, she was even present for a verbal confrontation between Jeremy and police officers called on him by suspicious bystanders. The confrontation itself isn't too interesting, with the cops questioning his apparel and his intentions. However, Jeremy makes a notable claim while arguing with a nearby security guard.
Representing your company well right now, okay?
Is he a security officer?
No, he's not.
You don't need to worry about who
security.
I am. Are you cleared for that?
He owns this business.
Are you cleared for that? Sir, what's your DS level? Because I know what my military level was, my classification.
Okay, we don't need to go through
Okay.
Jeremy claims he can recall his military level, implying that he served in the military. That's because Jeremy likes lying about much more than just him serving as a member of the police force.
What branch of the military were you in?
Army.
Army? So was I. Where were you stationed?
I was Benning and then I was Bragg. I was originally a Ranger, 3rd Battalion out of Benning, and then I was 3rd Group out of Bragg.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for your service.
Thank you. What
All
did
right.
you do?
So you jumped.
Oh yeah, I've been jump certified since I was 18.
This dude
That's why I
talking
left
out of
the
his
army. I
neck.
had a streamer. My riser popped when I was going into Fallujah.
Jeremy even claims that he was jump certified and parachuted into the Second Battle of Fallujah, a very famous battle in the Iraq War that took place in November of 2004. We know this isn't the case for two reasons. Number one, that would conflict with the timeline of his encounter with the 15-year-old girl that ultimately put him on the sex offender registry. And number two, a Freedom of Information request was made and revealed that there is no evidence of Jeremy serving in the military at all. On top of that, while it's not impossible, it's pretty difficult for felons to be allowed to join the military. Despite this chaotic string of events, Jeremy once again found himself a free man. Of course, he still hadn't learned from his mistakes and would continue blurring the line between funeral escort and a badass crime stopper. But before he could get arrested for that, he would have the police called on him during a domestic disturbance in June of 2019. While on vacation in Chicago with his wife, the two stayed in an Airbnb. Jeremy had the cops called on him after he was seen throwing metal chairs off of the 6-story balcony, something he claims to have done in order to get the attention of a tow truck driver he had called to tow his car.
Do me a favor, turn around. Hold on. He hold a weapon on him. He hold a weapon on him. He hold. Yes, he did. He hold a weapon on him. He hold a weapon on him. What are you guys doing? My badge. Where's my badge? Where's my badge? I have my badge and my information in the call, Florida. Yes. Okay, give us one. You need to come down for us. Man, we figured things out. It's gonna be. We'll stop him first.
Jeremy was placed in handcuffs and eventually placed in the back of a cruiser. He lied to the police and told them he was a cop, which the arresting officers took his word on in good faith. This lie is also why they chose to do Jeremy a solid and offered that under the condition that he...
I actually remember seeing this a while back when this first came out. This was like a thing on a YouTube channel. I was just like, yo, this dude is bugging out. This is crazy.
Apologized directly to the tow truck driver, they would not officially book him. Jeremy promised that he would quote-unquote eat humble pie and simply apologize, but he seemingly refused to truly take accountability during his half-hearted apology.
I am sorry. I didn't know who you were at first, and then when you're trying to hook up, I'm screaming down. You heard me screaming. I was trying to stop you from doing it because we're allowed to be there. And I don't know where the communication error is happening, how these people are calling the police or the towing, and you're dispatch, I understand you're just doing your job. But when you pulled the screwdriver, I'm worried about my wife's safety.
What do you mean pull the screwdriver?
He's not pulling the screwdriver to attack it. Why would he?
I'm not person because you're lying on me. I never saw your wife.
All right. Calm down. Stop. Listen to me for a minute. Do you think he'd actually pull a screwdriver on a woman? Come on. She's like a quarter of the size. That's silly. No, I'm sorry. All right, brother, I swear I am sorry. We got to do the report. You got to cover that damage for him.
Jeremy may have managed to dodge any tangible repercussions this time, but a few months later, it would be a different story. On September 7th, 2019, Jeremy was arrested once again, but this time it was during business hours. And the entire thing was recorded on an actual officer's body cam for us to see.
He blowed him.
Sergeant, my vehicle's not stolen, Sergeant. I can tell you right now, everything's being videotaped on my body cam, Sergeant. Okay, you're so, that's not a firearm, Sergeant.
You're a civilian.
Hey, officers.
That's a
I'm getting
BB
this
gun.
all on video camera, and I can promise you, this isn't going to go the way you're planning.
2 days later, Jeremy gave an interview to a local news network where he demanded a letter of apology and a suspension for the officers involved. He also voiced concerns on how this arrest might negatively affect his business and said that arresting him during a funeral service was in poor taste.
At no point should I ever been pulled over. At no point should I ever been put in handcuffs. At no point should I ever been stripped of my gear in public while the funeral that I worked for was passing by. So now my business is going to suffer. I'm definitely going to want some kind of suspension and definitely a letter of apology.
It also appears that Jeremy was nearly arrested about a week later after an off-duty deputy sheriff noticed Jeremy and his team holding up traffic at an intersection. Supposedly, Jeremy approached the man, unaware that he was a cop, and began harassing him. Jeremy physically hit the man's car, put his hand on his gun holster, and began yelling profanities at him. All the while, the man's wife and 4-year-old child were in the back seat. Jeremy was, for some reason, not arrested for this. However, one of his employees, Randall Brocchius, real name by the way, was arrested for having an actual 9mm handgun on his belt.
What kind of weapon is that?
It's a 1911.
It's a regular handgun?
Yes, sir.
Okay, do you have your, what do you have to carry that weapon openly in the state of Florida?
I have a G license.
G license, but the problem is this is not a security company.
Okay.
So by the law, you're under arrest.
Randall has a short history of similar incidents himself related to openly displaying a firearm in public. Jeremy also had the cops called on him on the 26th of September. That's right, 3 times in 1 month alone. But who's counting? A woman called the police on him after seeing him directing traffic and believed he was impersonating a police officer, which he was, although it doesn't appear he received any legal consequences for this. 1 month later, Jeremy was arrested again, this time for the same charge as his previous arrest. Only a few weeks after that, on November 15th, 2019, he was arrested again for, I mean, you can probably guess, he robbed an ice cream truck.
We're hearing from the local ice cream truck driver who was robbed by 3 young children in the Skyline area.
No, I'm kidding. Okay. It was impersonating a police officer. If I'm counting properly, that's at least 5 different documented encounters with the cops in the span of 2.5 months. Now, is this because Jeremy was becoming increasingly negligent and belligerent in his work as time progressed? Well, that's almost certainly a factor. But the main reason for all of these arrests and verbal warnings is due to the police cracking down on his little operation. Corporal John Ramsey and Sergeant Keith Vidler were both tasked with finding a way to put Jeremy behind bars for good. The best way to describe the dynamic between Jeremy and Sergeant Vidler in particular is that of mortal enemies. Jeremy directly claimed that Sergeant Vidler had been targeting and harassing him and his employees. Jeremy specifically believed the influx in recent arrests was due to this harassment campaign. He specifically said in his interview with the local news, "The facts that we were running our business for 10 years with no problems, and then all of a sudden now it keeps happening over and over, it's a little confusing and very discerning." This doesn't seem to be entirely true, as Jeremy was pulled over by the aforementioned Corporal John Ramsey in 2015 for his illegal use of an air horn. Although there is a bit of truth to what Jeremy claims. From 2009 to 2018, the sheriff of Orange County was Jerry Demings, and Jeremy was only arrested twice during his reign. Once for failure to register as a sex offender, and once for violating his probation. But anything to do with his work at Metro State never resulted in an arrest. It was only when Jeremy Demings was elected mayor of Orange County and John Mina became Orange County's new sheriff that things began to change. And even Jeremy himself has said as much. This has led some people to believe that perhaps Jeremy had a deal with Sheriff Demings that kept him out of trouble, although there's no proof of that.
States.
Yeah, this is getting wild, man. The more I learn about this dude, the more I realize this dude has a really severe issue when it comes to be, some sort of authority figure, or maybe, I don't know, man, maybe he really wanted to be a cop his whole life.
Definitely playing cops and robbers and shit. He might be on the spectrum. You remember that movie they had? I think it was called Let's Be Cops. It's with one of the Damon's brothers.
Yeah, I
nephews.
remember that. That was pretty funny.
This is.
Well, he gives me myself, and Irene vibes too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Big facts.
Ultimately, a major development would come from this new investigation in February of 2020, when Florida prosecutors filed a boatload of new charges on Jeremy. 5 counts of falsely impersonating a police officer, 2 counts of unlawful interception of wire or oral communication, and 1 charge of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. All felonies. A majority of these charges stemmed from offenses in September, October, and November of 2019, as well as 2 charges from 2017 and 18 respectively. He turned himself in on the 26th of that same month. But how strong was the case? Well, the cases for police impersonation seemed to be pretty open and shut. After Jeremy's arrest, the sheriff's office received a warrant to search the Metro State business, including personal computers. While investigating, they found a file titled Jay's Cool Stuff, which contained an extremely incriminating video. The first 20 minutes show a routine funeral escort service from Jeremy's perspective with nothing out of the ordinary. But about 5 minutes after the escort service ends, we see a black Porsche pass by Jeremy and pull in front of him. So Jeremy decides to do this.
Hi! How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
You must have missed that it's 45 through there, and then you use the turning lane to cut through traffic. I understand you're in a nice car and everything, but let's be a little more mature the way you drive. Let's drive the right way then.
Are you a cop?
Don't worry about what I am, because I'm a state agent. So what you need to do is make sure you're doing the right thing, fuck boy.
Now, after speeding and weaving between cars, he starts harassing a man for essentially no reason at all. While identifying himself as a state agent, he begins listing traffic violations to the driver and scolding him for his supposed bad driving. Considering that Jeremy is currently riding a police-like motorcycle and is equipped with a police-like uniform and utility belt with police-like equipment, it's hard to imagine he's not attempting to appear as a police officer in this moment. After the driver pulls away, Jeremy begins chasing after him, clearly exceeding the speed limit to continue harassing him.
He's with that bullshit, but he ain't about that life. Yeah.
That's real nice.
Yeah, I know.
Real professional.
The way you almost hit me, fuckboy,
yeah.
is the way it's professional, bitch ass.
You're not a cop.
Fuck
You wanna-
boy, bitch ass, ain't about that life.
How's that?
You act like you're fucking stopping me.
I didn't pull you over. Did I make a traffic stop on you, fuckboy?
Fuck off.
Yeah. You're lucky I don't get out and beat. Come on, let's go, bitch. Get out your fucking car. Let's go.
Jeremy challenges this dude to a fight, which he accepts, but he refuses to fight him in the middle of the street and asks that Jeremy follow him to a nearby parking lot. Jeremy does not follow him and instead continues driving forward. After discovering this footage, detectives were able to contact the man in the video, who claimed that at first he did believe that Jeremy was a cop. But after he realized that he was a complete fraud, he drove away. However, after the second escalation and Jeremy became more aggressive, he began to fear for his life as he was unsure what weapons Jeremy had on him. Ultimately, the investigators found that this was enough evidence to charge him with false impersonation of a police officer and aggravated assault, the latter likely stemming from Jeremy's belligerent threats and him putting his hands aggressively inside the guy's car. But of course, the investigators found way more incriminating footage than just that. This time, they found a 7-minute video in which Jeremy, referring to himself as Jay, speaks to a woman named Heather on the phone. What's not on camera is what had transpired beforehand. At about 11 a.m. on that day, Heather stopped at a red light, and shortly after heard sirens coming from behind her. That's when a black and white motorcycle entered the intersection with flashing lights. After a few moments, the motorcyclist, who Heather thought was a police officer, began barking orders at her to move her car. She became suspicious of the guy, considering she wasn't aware of any legal department called Metro State, and because the flashing lights on the bike were purple and amber instead of the standard red and blue. Heather ultimately decided to call the police due to this guy's aggressive driving and what she felt to be a suspect presence as law enforcement. Afterwards, it seems that Heather began attempting to contact Metro State and eventually got on a call with Jeremy himself. The contents of the call are not too important, but the nature of the call was, as Jeremy had recorded it without informing Heather that he was doing so.
I mean, I'm not trying to sound like a jerk, but I mean, you had time to look up our website to find the phone number to call my supervisor and then talk to him on the phone. So I'm assuming you had time to look up what we do.
Well, you weren't doing it.
Okay, so tell me exactly what happened so I can figure out what's going on.
Based on the evidence provided, Sergeant Keith Vidler felt there was probable cause to charge Jeremy with illegally recording the woman and falsely impersonating a police officer. Another one of the charges stems all the way back to 2018. In this video, we can see Jeremy illegally stopping traffic and pulling cars over. However, one of the vehicles, a silver Nissan truck, was not having it. The driver, named Kevin, immediately began asking Jeremy for his credentials and whether or not he was law enforcement. Of course, Jeremy avoided the question, and Kevin affirmed that if he wasn't law enforcement, he wasn't going to stop for him. He even went as far as to directly request that Jeremy write him a citation. Eventually, Kevin got tired of waiting and pulled off, and Jeremy began verbally lashing out at him in the middle of the funeral procession.
If you're not law enforcement, I'm not stopping for you.
Listen, if you keep going, we'll figure it out real fast.
Let's figure it out real fast.
Florida Statute 316, 1974 says we have the right of way with emergency vehicles. You need to sit tight, sir.
No, I don't.
You need to sit tight.
Answer my question.
I'm videotaping everything right now. I'll get your tag number. If you continue the way you are, we'll have to take care of the situation.
Yeah, this dude knows. He's asking him, you a cop or not?
And not for nothing, man. This is like for those who know, if you're fully aware, this is like the perfect opportunity to take advantage of and just like put your hands on this dude, because you're not gonna get in trouble. This dude is impersonating an officer.
Yeah.
Like you can ragtag his ass and be like, yo, he's not a real cop. So I don't know, man. If somebody really, said, you know what, I'm gonna put an end to this. We're gonna figure this shit out.
You don't know what kind of weapons he got. They could claim they're scared for their life and they handle business.
Absolutely. I see something like this, man, I am going in for the fucking gold, baby.
Yeah.
I need you to sit tight.
Would you let me speak? If you're law enforcement, identify yourself to me. What agency?
We're with Metro State, and we're a state-certified agency. You sit right there, please, sir. Thank you.
Can you write me a citation?
Come on, man. Get out of the fucking way. Sit tight, sir. Please don't continue.
Fuck you.
Hey, fuck boy. Hey, piece of shit, fuck boy. Motherfuck, fuck boy.
You might have heard Kevin say as he drove away, reach for it. The likely reason he said this is because at that moment, Jeremy put his hand on his pepper ball pistol. This is what got him his aggravated assault with a deadly weapon charge, with Florida Statute 784-021 stating the charge is an intentional threat with words or actions, the ability to carry out a threat, and an action that creates fear in another person who believes violence is imminent. This wouldn't be the first or the last time Jeremy had done something like this. As mentioned prior, he was nearly arrested on September 16th for threatening an off-duty sheriff's deputy with his wife and children inside the car. These are just 3 of the felony court cases against Jeremy Dewitte, with the others bearing a similar resemblance in both context and consequence. Of course, one unaddressed consequence on top of these legal cases was the public backlash he received from Jeremy's fellow Orange County residents. Tens of thousands of people die every single day, which means that funeral services and funeral escort services will find their way into someone's lives eventually. Unfortunately, Metro State was one of the few funeral escort services in Orange County, leading to a load of unsavory transgressions with both random pedestrians and funeral attendants alike. I encountered your funeral escort services today. Your inept escort waved me through a red light. I was almost hit. Thankfully, I hit and locked my brakes. There was no way for anyone to tell this was a funeral procession. The only sign was a tiny, difficult to discern flag on the first car. Your vehicles look like an emergency vehicle, so folks don't know what to make of them, as your car stopped full lanes of traffic in the middle of intersections. By what authority do you have the right to direct traffic? Your vehicle stopping in the center lane at every intersection, confusing drivers, made the drive from Longwood to Winter Park dangerous. Had it not been for hurricane prep, I would have called 911. Other public reviews for Metro State echo a very similar sentiment. Notably, one anonymous individual representing the company, most likely Jeremy, would often respond with passive-aggressive apologies and shift the blame towards those with unpleasant experiences. We at Metro State truly apologize that you had such an upsetting encounter with one of our escorts. However, the officers, after review of all body cameras and cameras of the vehicles on escort, show all vehicles entering properly on a green light. The statute clearly states that all vehicles are to be yielded to as if fire or ambulance. So I apologize that you were extremely busy with your hurricane preparations, but that may be the reason why you were involved in an upsetting situation, because you are unable to see that the funeral had the right of way. Just because you have a green light does not mean you have the right of way. It seems like negative reviews were beginning to get on Jeremy's nerves, and it's very likely he began uploading fake positive reviews to whatever review site hosted his business. This is quite obvious when you notice that the same messages, word for word, are uploaded by different people within the same time of each other. This isn't a one-time occurrence, by the way, as 2 individuals named Mark and Andra were also posting identical messages not even a full minute apart. It seems like Jeremy was so concerned with losing business that he began planting fake reviews that implied anyone looking for funeral escorts were not able to get them from the local sheriff's office, which is a complete lie. While Jeremy was facing scrutiny in the court system, beginning with his court hearings for his numerous felony cases in March of 2020, he was also facing scrutiny online. The YouTuber Blue Bacon live-streamed himself conducting an interview with someone who claimed to be a Metro State contractor. The interview itself is not too notable. What is interesting is that the Metro State YouTube channel began spamming comments under the video. It would truly be nice that before you post any videos, you confirm that person actually works for us, because you just posted a video of somebody speaking about our company and our boss and never worked for us. But it's about your likes, not the truth. And we understand that. You should call our office and schedule an interview with the owner. We have a very up-to-date call system, and we receive every call and or respond to every call that comes in. We have never received any call from you or your staff asking for any kind of interview or info about our past contractors. I have been the HR secretary for over 6 years, and I personally handle all calls, and never once have we spoken. But again, it's for your viewers, not the truth. I have a sneaking suspicion that Jeremy might be the one behind these comments, which apparently is a common sentiment. Regardless of who really was behind this diatribe, it goes to show that those involved in Metro State, and of course Jeremy, were well aware of the negative discourse growing online, and they weren't too happy about it.
Man, that's crazy, bro.
That is crazy. I'm learning more and more. I mean, it is getting a little bit of a, repetitive.
Repetitive, yeah. I'm sitting back, listening, watching, learning, soaking it all in. So next time we touch on the subject, I'll know a little bit more. But it's definitely interesting to get into the psyche of someone like that that's done this so many times, plus got the bad charges. So it's like kind of crazy.
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head earlier when you
health
said
there.
it was some sort of autism spectrum, right? Because
Yeah.
there's out here in New York City, man. There's an actual guy. He's on the spectrum, and he likes to steal New York City buses and drive them around pick up passengers, follow the route, and then bring the
Yep.
bus back to the depot.
Yeah, probably knows the routes by heart too.
No, he does. He absolutely
That's
does.
on top of that. Yeah.
And he's really good at
They're
it.
smart in a
Right?
lot of ways. You know what I mean?
They are. They absolutely are. They are gifted in a lot of ways. But this guy right here, bro, he's not one of those
Different
guys.
type of animal. Nah, he's a dirtbag.
Different type of fucking animal.
Yeah.
And like I said, man, we're kind of beating a dead horse here. I get the gist of what's going on. I don't know how much longer this is gonna last.
Now
But
we'll finish this on another one, and we'll try to bring some more value and add a whole nother video to it where we can shed some light.
I wasn't even going there. I was just saying in general. I mean, I'm not saying
Yeah, no,
this
it's getting repetitive.
one
You're
is
right.
better, but this guy, he's pretty much cooked, and he is where he needs to be, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So
And
unless
if the
we get
bad
some new
shots
jail
miss, they go
calls,
to me. Yeah, exactly.
yeah, we get some new jail calls and we get some new information, man. I think that'll be, break the
Crucial.
monotony of what's going on right now.
Exactly.
Because I am, I'm fatigued right now.
Yeah. No, it took me for a spin, bro. Hey,
Yeah.
shout out to everyone in the chat. You know where it's at. YouTube Streets Podcast. Make sure you hit that like button if you like something. It's your guy, Blue Eyes.
I don't know, man. It's a Saturday night, man. Everybody be safe. Everybody have a good time. Well, Saturday morning.
Right.
Everybody have a good rest of your day. Thank
Yep.
you for tuning in. It's always a pleasure. Always thank you for the support first and foremost. It's good to see everybody. I like when we come on live and we see the regulars and
They
we see the
popping.
day oneers.
Yeah.
You know
Those
what I
are
mean?
people. We on the streets, man. Have a great weekend. Continue to have a great weekend. We'll be back soon. We're gonna continue to touch on this. Try to bring some different perspectives to it, though.
Yeah, and I don't know if you guys been paying attention to the House of Horrors and all that. The 16 kids. As of lately, there's a lot of new information coming out. So we might be getting into that sometime in the near future.
Yep.
But everybody have a good night. Stay safe. Stay humble, but stay responsibly dangerous. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank you for the support.
Yeah.
Till next time, man. Salute.
End of the score. YouTube Streets. And we out. Peace.